If another woman is talking to your man, she's not the biggest problem. He is. Because a loyal man doesn't create opportunities for other women, he shuts them down before they even begin. So before you blame her, before you stalk her page, before you compare yourself to her, ask yourself this: why did he make himself available in the first place? Because a loyal man doesn't entertain options, he doesn't create space for confusion, and he definitely doesn't allow another woman access to him in a way that disrespects you. So before you blame her, ask yourself one question: why did he make room for her in the first place? We've been conditioned to blame the other woman, to call her names, to see her as the enemy, to act like she came and stole something that was yours. But let's be honest, a man who is solid cannot be taken. A man who respects you cannot be distracted. A man who is loyal isn't available for temptation. So, if someone else is getting his attention, it's not because she's powerful, it's because he made himself available. We need to unlearn something today. Because for years, women have been taught to blame the other woman. She's the homewrecker. She's the problem. She's the reason your relationship is falling apart. But that's not the full truth. Because no woman can take a man who doesn't want to be taken. Read that again. No woman can take a man who is truly loyal, disciplined, and committed. So if she has access to him, it's not because she's special, it's because he made space. Let's break it down. A random woman can't just walk into a strong relationship and take your man. She can only take what he is already willing to give. His time, his attention, his energy, and attention is never accidental. Every reply, every like, every conversation that goes a little too far, that's a choice. And here's the truth a lot of people avoid: how it really starts. Let's be honest about how these situations actually begin. It's rarely dramatic at first. It's small, a follow back, a reply to a story, a harmless conversation, nothing that looks like cheating. Yet, but here's the part people ignore. Disrespect doesn't start when it becomes physical. It starts when boundaries are ignored. Because every small interaction is a doorway, and he decides whether to close it or leave it open. Men don't accidentally cheat. They gradually allow it. It starts small, a reply he didn't need to send, a conversation he didn't need to continue, a boundary he chose not to set. And before you know it, what should have been nothing becomes something. What loyalty actually looks like. A loyal man doesn't just say, "I'm loyal." He shows it in what he doesn't entertain. He shuts things down early. He doesn't flirt back. He doesn't entertain attention. He doesn't keep backup options just in case. Because when a man is serious about you, he protects the relationship even when you're not there to see it. That's real loyalty. Not "I didn't cheat, but I never even allowed it to get close." Because let's be real, it's easy to be loyal when there are no options. A loyal man, he closes it immediately. He doesn't entertain curiosity. He doesn't entertain attention. He doesn't entertain just being friendly when it crosses a line. But a man who enjoys attention, he lets it grow, he feeds it, and then acts surprised when it becomes something more. Attention is a choice. Let's talk about attention, because attention is one of the most valuable things a man can give, and it's never accidental. Every message he replies to, every conversation he continues, every moment he chooses to engage, that's intentional. So when another woman has his attention, that's not her winning. That's him giving. And you have to understand this. A man who respects you protects where his attention goes, because attention leads to connection. Connection leads to emotion. And emotion leads to decisions that can break relationships. So no, it's not harmless. It's the beginning of something that should have never been allowed. A loyal man moves differently when the opportunity is there and he still chooses you. Stop misplacing your anger. This is where a lot of women go wrong. They focus all their anger on the other woman. They stalk her, compare themselves to her, blame her. Meanwhile, the man who made the promises, the man who owed you loyalty, the man who had your heart, gets a pass. Why? Because it's easier to blame a stranger than to accept that someone you trusted disrespected you. And this is where people get it wrong. They think loyalty is just, "I didn't cheat." No, that's the bare minimum. Real loyalty is discipline. It's what a man does when temptation shows up. It's how he responds when someone tries to get his attention. A loyal man will shut it down early, keep clear boundaries, make it known he's not available. Not because you're watching, but because that's who he is. Because a man who truly values you doesn't play with anything that could risk losing you. Stop blaming the wrong person. This might be uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. A lot of women pour all their anger into the other woman. They compare themselves. They question their worth. They feel like they're competing. But why are you competing? For someone who already chose you? Or at least was supposed to? Because the truth is, she didn't owe you loyalty. He did. She didn't make promises to you. He did. She didn't build a relationship with you. He did. And until you hold the right person accountable, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. But healing starts with honesty. So why is he the one getting less accountability? Why men do this? Now let's go deeper. Why do some men allow this? It comes down to a few things. Ego, validation, lack of discipline. Some men like attention. They like feeling wanted. They like knowing they still have options, even if they're in a relationship. But here's the problem. A man who needs constant validation will never be fully loyal because he's always looking for something outside of you. And that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with him. The signs you should never ignore. Pay attention to the signs because they're always there. He hides conversations. He gets defensive when you ask questions. He downplays things that clearly cross boundaries, or the classic, "It's not that serious. You're overthinking. She's just a friend." Listen carefully. A man who respects you will never make you feel like you're asking for too much. When you're asking for basic respect, what you should do. This is where you take your power back. Stop focusing on her. Start focusing on what you're willing to accept. Because at the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you if you tolerate disrespect. It will continue. If you ignore red flags, they will grow. If you stay where you're not valued, you'll keep feeling exactly like this. So the real question isn't, why is she talking to my man? It's, why am I staying with a man who allows it? Know your worth. You deserve clarity. You deserve consistency. You deserve a man who doesn't make you question your place in his life. And let me tell you something. When a man is truly about you, you won't feel confused. You won't feel like you're competing. You won't feel like you have to fight for his attention because he gives it to you freely. So, no. The other woman is not the biggest problem. She's just the opportunity. The real issue is the man who allowed it. Because a loyal man doesn't entertain distractions, he removes them. And if he didn't, then maybe it's time to stop asking why she showed up and start asking why you're still settling. The hard truth about boundaries. A man who respects you doesn't wait until things get messy to set boundaries. He sets them immediately. And if he doesn't, that tells you everything you need to know, because boundaries aren't about control. They're about standards. And a man who values you doesn't gamble with your trust. He doesn't put himself in situations where something could happen, because he understands something most people ignore. Disrespect doesn't start with cheating. It starts with access. Access he allowed. Know your worth. You deserve a man who doesn't make you compete. You deserve a man who doesn't confuse you. You deserve a man who makes it clear that there is no one else. And if you ever find yourself questioning that, pay attention, because the right man won't have you wondering, who else has his attention? You won't need to check his phone. You won't need to overthink. You won't need to fight for basic respect. So, no, the other woman isn't the biggest problem. She's just the opportunity. The real question is, why did your man take it? Because a loyal man doesn't entertain distractions, he eliminates them. And if he didn't, then maybe it's time to stop asking why she was there and start asking why you're still accepting less than you deserve. If this message spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, but it's also what sets you free. Soft power psychology, where emotional patterns become power.